How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're actually going to be talking about a pretty awesome topic. Again, I'm making another automotive news video, something that's really been starting to trend over the past few days. So it's recently been announced that Porsche is actually working on a new synthetic fuel that can potentially save the internal combustion engine as we know it when compared to the new manufacturing of the electric vehicles that we're seeing today. But before we actually get into that, I did also just want to say thank you guys so much, my newer viewers who have watched my video that just went public a couple days ago talking about the 400Z production model that recently got leaked. For some reason, that video just really got picked up by YouTube's algorithm. I'm assuming because it's a new topic and everyone's searching for it. But I definitely just want to say thank you to all the new viewers on my channel. And if you guys are new here, I did just want to remind you guys that I'm doing my very first giveaway on the channel. Pretty much once I hit 1,500 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away $100 worth of my merchandise to one subscriber and one subscriber only. So definitely go down there, click the subscribe button, get yourself entered to win $100 worth of my merch for absolutely nothing. It helps me out a lot as a smaller YouTuber. Plus, again, you can get $100 worth of my merchandise for literally just subscribing to me. So definitely go down there and click subscribe. Now, that being said, guys, I kind of really just want to jump right into today's video. I'm really not going to be talking that much today, but I did just want to kind of focus on these two articles that I found. Now, again, that being said, just because they're Porsche is working on the synthetic fuel doesn't necessarily mean that there's a lot of new information on it, just because it's kind of just hitting the news right now. So you can see the headline: Porsche is working on a synthetic fuel to make internal combustion engine cars as clean as EVs. But it's pretty much just going to be a hydrogen based fuel, and I'm going to kind of go over the little points in this article. And again, like always, I will be linking the articles that I use in this video down in the description box below. So if you want to go ahead and read all of it yourself, definitely be sure to do so. So it starts off by saying something that is pretty common sense. Electric vehicles are the future, but vehicles with the internal combustion engines are not going to disappear anytime soon. I feel like I've been saying that a lot in some of my videos, and a lot of people are into cars, really understand that, but some people who might not really be into cars think that, everything on the road is going to be an electric vehicle within the next 20 years. Honestly, that's just not going to happen. There's still going to be plenty of vehicles running off traditional petrol or, regular gasoline. But this new fuel does look pretty exciting. So it's pretty much just going to be made up of CO2 and hydrogen ingredients. I'm assuming, that's on the molecular level. I'm not really much of a scientist or chemist myself, so I honestly don't know how they would do this. But it's definitely very interesting, and it actually said basically it can significantly lower greenhouse gas emissions. And I believe, let me pull it up. So right here, Porsche's Vice President of Motorsport and GT Cars, Frank Walliser, said the company will have its first small test batch, just 130,000 liters, or basically just over 34,000 gallons of e-fuel ready by 2022. So within the next year. And this was his exact quote. So synthetic fuel is cleaner and there's no byproduct, and when we start full production, we expect a CO2 reduction of 85%. Now, I am not sure with the whole politics and the government policy behind this, but I'm assuming they're talking about Germany by themselves, reducing a Germany CO2 reduction by 85%. And I mean, if Germany does this and other governments actually do care about the environment like they say they do, I can't see why the European Union won't hop on board, or other NATO countries won't hop on board immediately, which does include obviously here in the United States of America. Now, it also does talk a little bit about E85, which is very popular here in the USA. I'm pretty sure it's popular in other countries as well. But again, E85, if you guys don't know it, it's pretty much just a corn-based fuel. It's basically called ethanol. It's race fuel. There's a higher octane, and it's actually a lot cleaner than regular 91 or 93. And that being said, guys, I know people with pretty much full-blown race cars that run on ethanol, And those cars honestly probably give off less emissions than someone like daily driving a regular car running off like 93 or something like that. Well, actually, I don't know about all that, but again, like you can have a full-blown race car running on E85 or ethanol, and it's really not going to like, you know, put out that much emissions. And mind you, that's a full-blown race car. So I'm not honestly really sure why, you know, governments haven't been pushing for more cars to be capable to run on E85 or ethanol, because honestly, if we switch that over to the majority of vehicles on the road, the emissions would go down tremendously. But in the same sense, again, E85 or ethanol is a corn-based ethanol, so basically it is a biofuel. And again, I'm not an expert in this, so definitely correct me down in the comments, but in order to have a biofuel, you need to grow a lot of corn or whatever the hell. And again, for ethanol, corn is pretty much like the main ingredient, with overall, like, I believe it was somewhere around 90 or 95% of ethanol is actually produced directly from corn. So it's pretty much a biofuel, so that means that the overall production of corn and other, I guess, crops like that would have to go up tremendously. So I kind of understand why a lot of governments haven't really been pushing more towards ethanol. But again, this new like e-fuel that's kind of made from CO2 or hydrogen or whatever, it's been picking up like a lot of traction in automotive news recently. And this article also does go on to give credit to Bentley, Mazda, and McLaren for being other manufacturers that have already kind of thought of this idea and already have tried to develop their own, you know, e-fuel. And I know, like myself, just talking to my dad about it, he did say that he knows, I believe back in the 50s, Mercedes-Benz was actually, you know, trying to do something like that, but they just didn't have the technology for it. So, I mean, this has definitely been going on for a while now, and now with the push for more, you know, electric vehicles on the road, and again, with like all the politics we've seen with the EPA against the RPM Act in these past weeks, a lot more car enthusiasts and car manufacturers who make sports cars or supercars or whatever, or race cars, have been looking to develop some sort of fuel where it's not going to give off a lot of emissions. It's overall a lot more cleaner and safer for the environment, but we can still have the internal combustion engines that we all love as car enthusiasts. And me personally, I do feel as though this is a pretty damn good kind of compromise between the two sides on this issue, because I mean, overall, we're still keeping what we love, which is the internal combustion engine in modern vehicles. But at the same time, this new e-fuel, hopefully it's going to, you know, pretty much have the same octane level or close to it, and be a more greener substitute than, you know, traditional gas or petrol. So now moving on to this second article. So Porsche says its synthetic fuel could make gas-powered engines as clean as EVs. And that's honestly not even an over-exaggeration. We see the same guy, the Vice President of Motorsport and GT Cars, Dr. Frank Walliser, told British car magazine Evo that the company is hard at work on a synthetic fuel technology that could potentially save traditional gas-powered mills. The fuel won't just reduce emissions either. It has the potential to make combustion engines just as clean as their battery-powered counterparts, the executive said. Now, one thing that I do find really awesome about this, again, if this is true, and this actually comes to be within like the next year or so, or at least, you know, the next few years to hit, you know, the United States of America. Now, I really do hope, again, this is, you know, 100% correct, because if that's the case, then vehicles with an internal combustion engine that are running off of this fuel will actually be better for the environment than electric vehicles, because again, like I previously stated in my EPA versus RPM Act video, if you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link up on the top of the video right now. But like I did previously state in that video, there's already many studies that pretty much compare like a new electric vehicle to a, you know, traditional internal combustion engine vehicle, both manufactured at the same time. Pretty much both of the vehicles have to drive for like 85 or 90,000 miles before the electric vehicle actually starts to become safer for the environment, just because all the, I believe, lithium mining or lithium ion mining that needs to take place to, you know, manufacture the batteries in electric vehicles And again, electricity doesn't just come from, you know, anywhere. Like electricity, the majority of electricity in this country is made from fossil fuels. Obviously, there's other greener ways to do it, and that's a whole nother discussion. But needless to say, trying to reel this back and, you know, stay focused here. Basically, a new electric vehicle with 0 miles on it, just, you know, manufactured, and a new internal combustion petrol vehicle, exactly the same specs and everything. The petrol vehicle is actually cleaner off the production line than the electric vehicle. That's all I'm trying to say. And again, it's already been proven numerous times before, so I'm really not going to get into that. But again, this is what makes this, you know, e-fuel that Porsche is saying they're working on so exciting. Because if we can keep, you know, the regular internal combustion engine setup and drivetrain in newer vehicles, that would be so much better, just in my opinion, because so many, you know, car manufacturers already have that whole process down to a science, and it's much more cost conscious to produce cars like that. And plus, it's much more, again, better for the environment to manufacture cars like that or vehicles like that. And if they're really going to give off like little to no emissions with this new e-fuel or whatever, that's just going to be that much better. Not just for, you know, the environment, but also for, you know, motorsports in general, and just, you know, car enthusiasts in general. Because we all know, or at least the vast majority of us, really don't like electric vehicles. We like our vehicles to make sound. And anyways, that's pretty much just going to be it. Definitely let me know your opinions on this topic down in the comments below. Me personally, I am very excited to hear about this, because I really do think that with all the, you know, different scientists involved and all the different resources that Porsche as well as all other manufacturers have, that someone, if not Porsche, someone else, but some manufacturer can definitely make this happen in the future. And it's definitely exciting to hear about, at least for me. And it's definitely exciting to see the internal combustion engine not completely dying out just yet. Now, like always, guys, thank you for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.